1. Introduction. My name is Nina. I am 56 years old. I live a very quiet life. I own a small bookstore in the city center. I love my job very much. Books are my greatest passion, and I spend my days reading and helping customers find new stories. My life is calm and simple, but one thing makes me worry every single day. This worry is about my son. Ben is 27 years old. He is a very good man. He is smart and he is handsome, but Ben is extremely shy. He does not like to go out of the house. He prefers to stay inside our home all the time. He plays video games for many hours, and he reads many books. He does not have many close friends. This situation is the biggest problem in my life. Ben is very isolated and lonely. He has never had a girlfriend. He has never taken a girl out for dinner. He has never even held a girl's hand. I worry that he will be alone for the rest of his life. I want him to find happiness and share his world with someone special. My husband died 10 years ago. Since that time, it has only been Ben and me living together in the house. Sometimes I feel a lot of guilt about this. Did I protect him too much? Did I keep him too close to me because I was lonely? I think about these questions every night. I know that I may have made mistakes as a mother. I know that I must help Ben change his life now. I cannot wait any longer. He needs to learn how to talk to people with confidence. He needs to feel strong. I decide to take action immediately. I look for a professional coach. I find a famous confidence coach named Alex. People say Alex helps men become charming and social. I decide to call him right away. This is my plan to help my son. 2. Meeting the teacher. I called Alex and we made a plan. We decided to meet at a busy coffee shop near my bookstore. I felt nervous. This was a big step for Ben and for me. I wore my favorite blue jacket, but I still felt old. I arrived early and waited at a small table. I drank my coffee slowly. I looked at the door many times. I thought about what I would say about Ben. I wanted Alex to know that my son was a good man, just shy. Then he walked in. I expected an older man. Maybe a man with white hair and glasses. But Alex was not old. He was young. He was maybe 42 years old. He was very handsome. He had dark eyes that looked strong. He had broad shoulders under a clean blue shirt. The shirt fit him very well. I felt a sudden shock. My hands were on the table and they felt cold. I felt very untidy in my old clothes. He walked to my table and smiled. His smile made me nervous right away. "Mrs. Nina," he said. His voice was deep and smooth. It sounded very confident. I told him about Ben. I explained that Ben was 27 years old and very shy. Alex listened carefully. He did not write anything down. When I finished speaking, he leaned forward. "I can help Ben," Alex said. "But you must promise me one thing." I waited. "You hold him too close. You must let him go. A man needs to be free to grow." I blushed immediately. I felt heat in my cheeks. His words were true, but they felt like a strong challenge. He looked straight into my eyes when he spoke. It had been many years since a man looked at me like that. I felt a strange warmth, a spark in my chest. It was a feeling I had forgotten. I tried to speak, but the words were difficult. I nodded instead. I knew he was right about Ben. I agreed to hire him immediately. I took out my wallet. My hands were shaking a little bit when I gave him the money. I hoped he did not notice my nervousness. I had hired a teacher for my son, but I felt like I had just met a man who made my heart beat fast again. 3. The lessons begin. Alex began to visit our house. He came 3 times every week. He was here to teach Ben. Alex taught Ben many things. He taught him how to choose good clothes. He taught him how to speak loudly. He taught him how to stand straight and tall. Ben did not like the lessons at first. He was shy, and this was hard work. But slowly, I saw a change. Ben started to smile more often. His shoulders were not so round anymore. He looked stronger. He started to look people in the eye. I was happy for him, but I was also nervous about the changes. During the lessons, I always stayed in the kitchen. I made tea or cleaned the counter. I tried to be very quiet. I wanted Alex to focus only on Ben. I wanted to be invisible, but it was hard to ignore Alex. I could feel him in the next room. His presence was strong, even through the walls. One Tuesday, Alex finished the lesson early. Ben went to his room to change clothes. Alex walked into the kitchen. He needed a glass of water. He stood near the counter. The house was very silent now. He looked at me. He did not call me Mrs. Nina anymore. He called me Nina. "You are doing a good job, Nina," he said. "You raised a kind man. You must be proud of Ben." I felt heat rush to my face. I did not know what to say. He took one step closer to me. The air in the kitchen felt heavy. It was like electricity was in the room. I could not move. His dark eyes looked straight into mine. I looked back at him. It was a long look, and it was tense. In that moment, I knew something important. I knew he was attracted to me, and I knew that I felt the same way about him. The tension between us was very clear. This was more than just a job for him. He smiled a small, private smile. Then he quickly drank his water. He put the glass down and went back to the living room to wait for Ben. I stood still in the kitchen for a long time. My heart was beating fast. The lessons for Ben had started, but maybe the lessons for me were just beginning too. 4. Dinner and rain. A terrible storm came 2 weeks later. Ben was not home. Alex forced him to go to a party. Alex could not leave my house. His car would not start in the heavy rain. We decided to eat dinner together. I made pasta. Alex opened a bottle of red wine. Outside, the wind was very angry and loud. Inside, the house felt warm and safe. We sat at the kitchen table. We talked for a long time. We did not talk about Ben or his lessons. We talked about other things. Alex told me about his travels to different countries. I told him about my bookstore and my deep love for stories. I explained why books were important to me. I told him about the stories that changed my life when I was young. He listened very carefully. He did not look away. I felt different that night. I felt like I was a young woman again. I did not feel like I was just a mother or a widow. I felt seen. It had been many years since a man listened to me like this. I realized I had missed this kind of connection very much. The wine made me feel relaxed, but Alex's eyes made me feel excited. Alex put his fork down. He looked at me across the table. His dark eyes were very intense. "You are beautiful when you talk about stories," he whispered softly. I stopped eating my pasta. My heart started beating very fast in my chest. I felt a strong heat rise to my cheeks. I knew this feeling was wrong. Alex was much younger than me. He was my son's confidence teacher. This was a scandal waiting to happen, but I could not move. I did not want him to stop looking at me. I wanted this moment to last forever. The atmosphere in the kitchen was now very heavy. The storm outside raged louder, but we were quiet inside. The rain hit the windows hard, creating a rhythm for our silence. We were close, sharing the warmth and the wine, while the world outside fought the storm. 5. The first kiss. We finished dinner and moved to the living room. The storm was still very loud outside. The thunder made the house shake often. We sat close together on the long, soft sofa. The silence between us was different now. It was not comfortable silence. It was heavy with unspoken thoughts. I looked at the fire in the fireplace. I did not look at Alex. I knew he was looking at me all the time. My heart beat quickly, like a small bird trapped in my chest. This strong feeling was new to me. I felt like I was 20 years old again. It was exciting, but also very scary. Alex slowly reached out his hand. His fingers were warm and a little rough. He touched my hand gently. I did not move away from his touch. I held my breath inside. He leaned closer so I could hear him over the noise of the rain. "Nina," he said. His voice was very soft and serious. "I know this is a crazy thing. You are Ben's mother. I am Ben's confidence teacher. But I want to kiss you very much right now." I could not speak a single word. I thought about many things quickly. He was much younger than me. People in the town would talk about us. This was probably a bad idea, but I truly did not want him to stop wanting me. I looked into his dark, beautiful eyes. I made my important choice. I gave him a small, quick nod. He smiled a little bit. He moved slowly towards me. He gave me time to stand up and walk away, but I stayed still on the sofa. He placed one hand carefully on my cheek. His hand was warm and strong against my skin. Then he put his lips gently on mine. The kiss was long and slow. It tasted sweet, like the red wine we drank with the pasta dinner. It tasted fresh, like the cold rain outside. I closed my eyes immediately and stopped trying to think. I forgot about being a mother. I forgot about my difficult life. I only felt his mouth on mine. I put my arms around his neck firmly. I held him very tightly. The kiss became deeper and much stronger. All my worries left my mind in that intense moment. I felt a great, sudden happiness. The world outside the living room did not matter anymore to me. Only Alex and I mattered in the darkness. I did not want this wonderful kiss to ever stop. 6. A happy night. The storm continued outside the house. The heavy rain did not stop. Alex decided to stay the night. We walked together to my bedroom. The situation felt very dangerous. I knew it could cause big trouble. However, at the same time, it felt completely right. It felt like the correct place to be. I had many worries inside my head. I worried about my body. I am 56 years old. I was afraid that Alex would see my body and stop liking me. I worried about being older than him, but Alex was wonderful. He did not make me feel old. He made me feel like a beautiful woman. He was gentle with me. He was also very passionate. We spent the entire night together in my bed. It had been a decade since I shared my bed with anyone. For the first time in 10 years, I was not sleeping alone. I put my head on his chest. I listened to his steady heartbeat. I felt a deep sense of companionship. I felt safe. I felt peaceful. When the morning came, the room was quiet. The sun started to shine. The light came softly through the window glass. I opened my eyes slowly. I looked at Alex. He was still sleeping next to me. He looked calm and handsome. I smiled at him. I realized how happy I felt. This happiness was a surprise. It was a new, warm feeling in my life. I knew this happy night was something I would remember forever. I moved carefully so I would not wake him up. I wanted the moment to last. I thought about the strong connection we shared. I thought about the dinner and the wine we drank the night before. Everything felt perfect and quiet. Then the peace suddenly broke. I heard a loud sound downstairs. It was the sound of the front door opening. My body froze instantly. My mind raced. I knew that sound. Ben was home. The feeling of happiness disappeared immediately. A terrible panic hit me very fast. It felt like a sudden wave of cold water covering my head. We were not ready for him to come back. I needed to move quickly before Ben saw us. 7. The sun knows. The sound of the front door opening was loud. It broke the peaceful morning. Panic hit Nina fast, like cold water. She looked at Alex sleeping next to her. She jumped out of the bed quickly and grabbed her robe. She put the robe on, but her hands were shaking. Alex woke up suddenly. He looked around the room, still confused from sleep. "What is it?" he asked, his voice low. "It is Ben," Nina whispered. He is home. They heard Ben's footsteps coming closer to the bedroom. Nina rushed toward the door. She knew she had to stop Ben before he saw Alex. She opened the door and walked into the hallway. She looked red and nervous. Alex walked out of the bedroom right after her. He was quickly buttoning his shirt. He stopped when he saw Ben standing at the end of the hall. Ben had stopped walking, too. The silence in the hallway was terrible. Ben looked at his mother. Then he looked at Alex, who was adjusting his clothes. Finally, Ben looked at the open bedroom door. Everything became clear to him in 1 second. "Mom?" Ben's voice was very weak. He looked hurt. "Alex, are you together?" Ben's face changed color. First, it was white, then it turned deep red. He looked angry and he looked very embarrassed. He could not believe what he saw. "You hired him to help me," Ben shouted. His voice was full of shock. "He is my coach, and now you are sleeping with him? This is crazy. What will people say about us?" Nina tried to walk closer to him. "Ben, please listen to me. It is not what you think." "It is exactly what I think," Ben yelled. He turned quickly and ran down the hall. He went into his own room and slammed the door hard. The sound shook the house. Nina felt a terrible wave of shame. She had hurt her son. She looked at Alex, who looked sad and worried. "Alex, you must leave," she said quietly. "Now, please." Alex understood. He did not argue. He grabbed his jacket and left through the kitchen door quickly. Nina was left alone in the hallway. She felt rejected and ashamed. She slowly slid down the wall until she was sitting on the cold wooden floor. She put her head in her hands and started to cry. The happy feelings from the night before were gone. Now, only guilt remained. She knew this mistake would cost her a lot. She sat there for a long time, listening to the silence from Ben's closed door. 8. A happy ending. The next 2 days were very hard. The house was full of quiet tension. Ben stayed in his room. I tried to stay busy in the kitchen, but I felt terrible. We did not speak one word to each other. When we ate dinner, we looked only at the floor. I felt deep sadness because I knew I had hurt my son, but I also felt a new feeling of strength. I thought, why must I live only for him? I am an individual, too. I missed Alex very much, and I missed the happiness I had felt that morning. I knew I had to talk to Ben. I could not live in this heavy silence forever. On the 3rd evening, I knocked on Ben's door. He opened it slowly. His eyes were red and tired. I went into his room and sat on the edge of his bed. I looked at him directly. I needed to be honest. "Ben," I started, "I know you are angry. I understand that this situation looks very strange. Alex was your teacher, but I must tell you something important." I took a deep breath. "I am 56 years old. I am your mother, and I love you more than anything. But I am also Nina. I am a woman who needs love and company." I explained that after his father died 10 years ago, I stopped living my own life. I only worried about Ben's life. Alex makes me feel young again. He makes me laugh. He makes me happy. I told Ben that I deserved to be happy just like he did. Ben was quiet for a long time. He looked down at his hands. I waited patiently for him to speak. Finally, he looked up at me. His expression was serious. "Mom," he said softly, "it is still very weird for me. He is younger than you, and he was my confidence coach." He stopped speaking for a moment. "But I saw you that morning. I have not seen you smile like that in 10 years. Since Dad died, you were always worried. I think you deserve to be happy, too." His words were the greatest gift. My eyes filled with tears of relief. He stood up and walked over to me. He held me tightly. It was a long hug, and it felt like all the anger and shame left the room. The love between us stayed. 6 months passed quickly after that conversation. Our lives changed completely. Ben became a new man. He was confident and happy. He went out often and made new friends. He did not play video games all day anymore. One day, he came home smiling big. He told me he met a girl named Sarah. She worked at the library and they were dating. I was so proud of him. And what about Alex and me? We were still together. We did not hide our love anymore. We went out for dinner and walks. People in the small town sometimes looked at us and gossiped about the age difference. I heard the talk, but I did not care anymore. I learned a great lesson. It is never too late to start living your own life. I had worried about my son for so long. Now, Ben was happy, and I was happy too. It was a beautiful, happy ending for us both.